Don't blink, it's your boy. Welcome to a video that will get me hate, but I don't really care. Just doing well, that you guys are having a fantastic freaking day. And we're talking about Gwen supremacy. So, what is Gwen supremacy in itself? Shout out to Cappy for inspiring this video. I was like, Cappy, me and Cappy, we usually play Fortnite, right? And she was talking about how much she wanted the Gwen Stacy skin. And I was like, yeah, Gwen Stacy is actually pretty cool. And I was wondering to myself, why was she pretty cool? Well, a couple of things came to my mind. The fact that I grew up watching Tobey Maguire, but did think that Andrew Garfield was kind of a badass when it came to Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire was a goof. Tobey Maguire was a loser. He represented the real Spider-Man. The real Spider-Man was a loser, right? Andrew Garfield was talented. It was funny. You got it. And Emma Stone, she was cutie, right? And then, I think because of that, I did prefer Gwen Stacy. And that was when I was 12, 14, 15 maybe, you know? I was young. I was a young little inky. And then I wondered later on in life why I preferred Gwen Stacy. Because I did prefer Gwen Stacy. And I was like, I feel like I like the character a bit more. And there's a very simple reason to why. There's multiple comics in which Mary Jane is Spider-Woman given. There's a lot of story where Gwen Stacy is Spider-Gwen. Granted, Spider-Gwen is better than Spider-Woman because it's Spider-Gwen. No, if you look at the Gwen Stacy in her universe, she loves everybody, right? She loves everybody, and then she had to become Spider-Man. When you look at her story, you look at a bunch of things, bunch of things, and you realize that she lost her power and she was willing to accept Gwenpool. See, Spider-Man, right, saw the costume, the symbiote, the Venom, said, nah, I'm getting controlled. You guys know how crazy Wade Wilson is. Gwenpool? Yeah, Gwenpool, I'm sorry. I did a lot of videos tonight, I'm tired. Gwenpool was like, nah, I still need those power. Gwen Stacy is also a better character, but why? I think it's because I don't like MJ. And there's a really, really simple reason as to why I do not like MJ. That reason can be resumed in one thing. Tobey Maguire. My first vision of Mary Jane was a cheating. She was once with Harry, she was with Peter, she was in love with Spider-Man, she wasn't in love with Peter Parker. See, she was in love with Harry because he had power. And then the Emma Watson. No, that's Harry Potter. I forgot her name, bro. I forgot her name. I'm sorry, whoever played Mary Jane, but the portrayal of Mary Jane was one of a person who kind of uses people, and it's tough because when you realize why, I know what you're saying. Oh, Inky, she didn't use Peter Parker. She was loyal to him. She absolutely was. Right? And then, but I got a little advice, a little trick for you guys. She did love Peter. She waited for him, right? And she had a shitty life. Her parents were taking advantage of her. Dude that didn't like her went out with her. She worked a shitty job. She got shitty plays, and then she made it. There's a reason why we all like the third movie, The Daughter of the Landlord. We're like, oh my god, she's so cool. Because we don't like Mary Jane. Mary Jane is... It's nuts because Mary Jane is low-key, high-key, the destined wife of Peter Parker. So, and multiple universe, she's gonna be the one he chooses. She's gonna be the one he likes. She's gonna be the one where she ends up with Peter Parker. And then you have Emma Stone. You got Gwen Stacy. Gwen Stacy, to me, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's really tough, to be honest. Because in the first trilogy, so I could talk about the comics, right? I could talk about the cartoon, but I don't know it. The reality is I know the movie. That's what I'm gonna base myself on. The Gwen Stacy being the daughter of a police officer that thinks that Spider-Man is a vigilante. Spider-Man saying, hey, I'm doing something to help. Proving the resolve, putting that there's people believing in him, believing in what he stands for, believing in what he's doing. It's not so much about him being a vigilante, it's him wanting to prove that he's not a vigilante. Understand? now we have another case, another series, uh, where you see it's a beautiful thing because with Mary Jane, it was the friendship of Harry and Peter. It was always push for her to make them fight. They would fight for love, right? But at the end, Harry was the one that saved Peter, and it kind of gave a lot to Harry. Like at the end, he made the right choices, but it took a lot from Peter because Peter didn't do the right choice. He knew his friend was the Green Goblin. See, there's a difference. Peter knew Harry was the Green Goblin, and Harry knew that Peter Parker was the Spider-Man. In the case of Harry, he was able to forgo his vengeance and save Peter. In the case of Peter Parker, he was like, nah, I'm gonna let Harry do what he wants. I'll stop him, but I'll do what he wants. And to me, this is not like good friendship. There's also the case like Gwen Stacy. Gwen Stacy was she was a lot more for Peter. She was the reason why Peter Parker became depressed. It was the reason why Peter Parker was a failure because he couldn't save the person that mattered the most. It was a trial for Peter. They failed. Gwen Stacy was also something he fought for, something that he knew. So, see, I don't remember exactly when, and it's very, very different. See, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man uses the fact that he's in the costume to have the girl. He's using he's using the fact that he's Spider Parker to say, hey, Peter cannot get a girl, Spider-Man can get a girl, right? Gwen Stacy knew right away Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man, and she loved him for him. She wanted him to be him. There's this representation of why Mary Jane is perfect for Peter, because whenever Peter needs to go for a mission, whenever Peter needs to know to do something, he needs to go. She'll say, okay, because she likes Spider-Man. But Spider-Man is nothing without Peter Parker. Just as much as Peter Parker is nothing without Spider-Man. And the Tobey Maguire version, he's a fucking loser. In the Andrew Garfield field, he's not so much of a loser, but he's not the best. And finally, right, we have the third version, which is the Tom Holland. And the Tom Holland, he brings it to Peter Parker that is extremely charismatic, extremely likable. See, and that's the thing that we love about Peter Parker, about Spider-Man. Spider-Man is goofy, he's cocky, he makes jokes, that's why we like him. We like him for that. We could take another Spider-Man, we could take anything that we want and say, hey, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. But the reality is, they're all fighting for the same thing. And that same thing is protection of Manhattan. See? It doesn't matter if it was Toby. It doesn't matter if it was Andrew. It doesn't matter if it was Tom. They were all good Spider-Man. They were all fighting for it. But behind every great man is a great woman. And who is the best woman? A person that's going to challenge Peter, or a person that's going to make him go away? See, the thing with Lois Lane, if we talk about waifu, the thing with Lois Lane knew about Superman. She was sacrificed. But the fact that Lois Lane understood that her being close to Clark Kent was a problem. She would get in danger. And I believe this is also true with Gwen Stacy and the Andrew Garfield series. A lot of people misunderstand what happened at the end. At the end, it's extremely important. The end is amazing behind the fact that look, the father of Gwen Stacy is like, dude, you're gonna make her in danger. He said, stay away from my daughter. If you love me, I'll sacrifice myself, but if you do me a lifesaver, stay away from my daughter. And Andrew Garfield stayed away from the daughter. Why? Because not because that father asked him, because he knew she was in trouble. He knew he was gonna die, right? And then at the end of the first movie, he's like, "Oh, I still like Gwen Stacy. I still like her." But he knew he was putting her in trouble. There's a question of Gwen Stacy. She didn't mind. I don't think Mary Jane was like, "Oh, yo, going out with Peter Parker is gonna get me a problem." And yeah. Anywho, I love you, that you matter. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.